Hello and welcome back to another Saturday with Coriander Quilts. I have a jam-packed episode for us today. Would you believe that we have new fabric to talk about? I know I was just sharing a bloom just weeks ago that you guys saw, and it's coming out into quilt shops in April. And now we have Sherbet Sunshine flannels. It's my first flannel line. It's going to be coming out later in 2025 in the summer, late spring, early summer. So I'm going to be showing you all of the prints in my very first flannel line. I'm very excited about this. I've got Coriander Fun Finds I'm going to be sharing, showing you what's in the new Jolly box, and we're going to open up the All Around Star Quilt Kit from Moda. This features the Callie & Co fabric line. This kit is in fabric stores now, so I'm going to be showing that. And then I've got some fun viewer questions that I'm going to be going through. And then we're going to wrap everything up with a tour through the new studio space, the empty studio space up in the new house. So all kinds of things to chat with you guys today about. Stick around. In an effort to clear off some of my table space here, it's pretty full right now, I'm going to start by sharing Coriander Fun Finds first. And we're going to start with the Jolly Bar. I got this box from Kimberly and the gang over at Fat Quarter Shop maybe a week ago or so, and I had big plans that I was going to wait and unbox it with all of you, but I was too eager to take a peek and see what's inside. So I did open it and look, but I thought that I would share it with you guys as well. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and just give this box away and send it on to a new home. So we will look at it here, and then I will have that giveaway hosted over on my blog. So you will need to visit my blog to enter the giveaway. And I will contact you directly via email. So if you get any comments in response to a comment you leave here on YouTube saying, contact us via WhatsApp or Telegram or any of that nonsense, that's not coming from me. I will contact you directly to your email, and you will need to leave that comment over on my blog. And I have the link to enter the giveaway in the description box below this video. I always like to make that clarification because sometimes over here on YouTube, if you leave comments and giveaway is mentioned in any regard, it can cause some bots to start commenting to you. So that's not for me, just a heads up. Okay, so Jolly box. This is a Fat Quarter Shop exclusive box. Kimberly and the gang put together this box every year, I believe, and they've been doing it for some time. Throughout the year, they will have specialty boxes that they release, which are set up the same as their So Sampler boxes, which is a monthly subscription, but this is a one-off box, so you're purchasing just the one box. And they were nice enough to send this over to me, and I am, as I said, going to be giving it away to one of you. So let's just go ahead and take a peek at what we have in here. I always think the boxes are put together so nicely, and this box is no different. It is set up beautifully. First of all, there is this Snowman Social tray, which I did open up and take a peek at because I was curious what this looked like, and I thought it was really cute. So we'll just pull this right out here. A little snowman tray. I would probably use this in my sewing room in some way if I was keeping this maybe as a, I don't know, pin tray, something cute to put your little mini charms on, or fabric scraps, or I don't know. You could also put, if it was my mom, she would probably put wrapped chocolates on it for Christmas and just have it at the table. So lots of ways you could use a cute little tray. It does say it's dishwasher safe, which if you are like me, that is wonderful. I do not like hand washing dishes. I will if I have to, but it's not my favorite. As we work our way in, we have this wonderful bundle of On Dasher fabrics by Sweetwater. It looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 fat quarters in this bundle, all from that same fabric line, so all coordinated, really pretty. I'm leaving that in the plastic, so if you are the winner of this giveaway, you have a little bit of a surprise as to the prints that are in here. But if you wanted to take a look at those prints, I will put a link to where Moda shared them over on their website so you could see all of the prints in this line. They have the cutest little reindeer in there. We have some thread. Now, when I looked at this thread, I thought, what in the world? This is a crazy selection of threads to go with this fabric line. But as we work our way through the box, you're going to see why this is the perfect thread to use with these fabrics. But there's a black, a white, and an orange Gutermann thread. We also have, see, you're getting a little bit of a hint here why that thread is great, black buttons and little orange carrot noses. So you can see why that thread is going to work so nicely. And then the pattern that's included is a Snowman Society pattern. And you can see you're going to be using those threads to attach the snowman eyes and noses to those quilt blocks. So that's included. And then these I thought were just adorable. It's little holiday gift tag labels. Let me get the light off there a little bit. When we have plastic covering, it tends to want to glare. There we go. I think you can see it there. So some gift tags. And then this just tells you all about the goodies that are in the box. So that is what the Jolly Box looks like. There are, as of right now, as I'm filming this video on the Tuesday before the video comes out on Saturday, there are still Jolly Boxes available to purchase. So if you liked this little peek into the box and you wanted to purchase one of your own, you can check. I'll put the link below if they are still available. As of right now, like I said, they are, but I don't know by the time this video goes up if they will still be available. If not, make sure that you enter the giveaway and this box could be headed to your house. So that's a little peek at the Jolly Box for this year. Super cute. And now we're going to move on to another Coriander fun find. This was actually literally a fun find for me because this is my quilt kit for the Callie & Co collection. Moda puts together these beautiful boxed kits, and I had sent them several quilts, 3 quilts for them to display using a bloom fabrics in their fall quilt market booth since I wasn't going to be there. And they sent the quilts back to me, and I just opened up the box. You know, we're in the middle of a home move, and so I'm trying to, organize and get everything where it needs to be. And so I opened up that box that they had sent to me thinking it was only going to be my quilts. But lo and behold, they also included this quilt kit for me of the all-around star kit for Callie & Co. And so it literally was a fun find for me to find in my box of quilts. And I thought, well, let's just take a peek in here. I haven't opened this up. I don't always, when I have a kit in a collection, see the kit. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. So it's always fun for me to see the kit. And they put them together so nicely. So here we have our beautiful kit, a really nice little thank you from Moda, the pattern for the all-around star kit. You can see everything there. And then the supplies that you need to make the quilt. So it has, let me just move this box out of the way here. When you look at the pattern, you see that you need a layer cake. So the layer cake is included here. And then a yard of the blueprint for the block corners. That is this here. You can see that's included here. And then your background fabric, which is the ditzy print from Coriander Seeds. I will show you here. Let me show you what that print is. I have the Callie & Co samples here. So let me find it. Oh, it's this one right here. So it's the white on white version of this fabric is what is included in the kit. Right, move those back out of the way. And then you have your border fabric, which is this print here around, and you can actually see it a little bit better right here. So this is your border fabric right here. And then let's see, binding. I think you have enough of this blue for binding as well. Let me look what this says. Quilt kit includes pattern and fabrics for quilt top and binding. So yes, this print right here, the blue, which is used for the corners of your blocks, is also what you're using for the binding of your quilt. And that is what is included in this beautiful boxed kit. Then you also have such a cute box that you can use for whatever you might like to use later. So these kits are in quilt shops right now. And Callie & Co pre-cuts and fabrics are also in quilt shops right now as well. So that is beautifully done. I always think these are so fun. Moda decides when we have and which pattern we have kitted when we have a collection coming out. So sometimes I have a kit and sometimes I don't. Just depends on the patterns and kind of the lineup of kits that they are planning to include in with the other fabrics that are being released. So that is the Coriander Fun Finds for today. We're going to move now into some viewer questions, which are always fun to answer. Okay, I've got two to start with. The first one comes from Karen Patterson, 1236. She asked, will sun drops and sun washed combine to work with patterns droplets or dashing? Leaning towards droplets to make a king-sized quilt. Thank you. It's cold here in Coshocton County. So Coshocton County is just the next county over from me here in Ohio, and it has been cold. Although this week we are fortunate it has warmed up, but last week, cold, so cold. I'm a little bit happy for the warmer weather. Even though it's rainy, it's a little warmer, so I'm thankful for that. I have pulled these two color cards for sun drops and sun washed, so we can take a look at these side by side. I hadn't really thought about mixing these two together, but I think as I work down through, I will notice that some spots are going to work. Oh, let me slide that up. Some spots are going to work pretty nicely to mix. So when we start off with the whites, you can see that these two, I would definitely mix together. I think the colors are really pretty and definitely lend itself nicely to mixing together. All right, next up we have the yellows and the corals here, and we have yellows in sun drops too. So let me just grab, where are you? There you are. Let me grab these so you can see all of these together. So again, here I would mix all of these together. I think these are all really pretty, right? All the colors just blend really nicely. So this is sun washed, and then this is both sun drops. All right, what do we have next? We've got pinks. Now, there is no exact color match between these, but we do have a darker. So this is the darker, orangier. It's almost like a rust color, a hot coral color. I don't know how you would describe this exactly, but you can get an idea. And of course, different computer screens, device screens are going to show colors differently, but at least you can see these two palettes side by side. And then, let's see, we're going to not have, there's no grays in sun washed. Rather, we have the dark blues. And then over in sun drops, we have the grays. So this is what you're looking at with the remainder of the colors in these lines. So the darker blues, the lighter blues, and the dark grays and light grays in sun drops. Now let's just go ahead and I'll just kind of lay everything out, sort of hodgepodge mixed together. So if you wanted to mix everything together, you can kind of see what we would be looking at, just sort of throwing it all together. Sometimes this can be helpful to see how two collections play as a whole, because they don't necessarily need to have exact matching colors to still look beautiful mixed together. And in fact, a lot of those scrappy quilts that we all love are definitely just a mix of fabric collections. Some much more matchy than others, and it really just depends on how matchy you want your quilt to be. So, you're gonna fit on there? Oh, sure enough. So there you go. You can kind of see there what the two collections as a whole are going to look like if you wanted to mix the two together. Slide that up so you can see all the way to the bottom. There you go. So, I hope that helps you kind of consider how those two collections would look together, and definitely something that you could do. Not two lines that I had really thought about mixing together, but in seeing them together, I do think that that could be really pretty. All right. Oh, and I had actually pulled those two patterns. She specifically mentioned mixing together using droplets or dashing. So this is the droplets pattern, and this is the dashing pattern. So for those of you unfamiliar with those two quilt patterns, this is what they look like. And both of these patterns are available for sale over in my Etsy shop. So that is those. And then the next question just tied in so nicely with that first one. It comes from N. Robinson, 7951. She says, "Hi, Corey. It's hard to choose. They are all very pretty." I don't remember what she was. I think this question came in during my layer cake giveaway a couple weeks ago, and I was just asking which was your favorite. And then her question is, do you keep your fabric samples / cards, or do you use them? She's asking about these, the cards that we were just talking about. I just keep them, and I use them for things just like this, where I want to compare fabrics, or I want to, you know, look over how a collection flowed, or look for a specific print. It's really nice having the whole collection. This is right here. I have the whole collection of Callie & Co. Just very easily accessible, nice big pieces of fabric so that I can see the prints easily, see the whole collection at a glance very nicely. So I keep them and refer to them as I need to. All right, so those were my 2 questions I wanted to answer today. And then the next question, this is actually a comment of the video, made me laugh. It comes from Emin Strex 65. She said, "Girl, your channel patterns and fabrics, but will you ever put some violet / purple in your collections? By the way, I used your free pattern, the layer cake one, to make 2 baby quilts. Used 1 layer cake to make both. Also purchased the flying geese ruler. It's my new favorite." So this made me laugh because I hear about purple more often than any other color. Yellow is sometimes mentioned pretty often as well. You know, I love yellow. Well, there are some people who really do not like yellow, so I hear about it from those people. And then there are a lot of people who love purple. And I did respond to her. I said, "LOL, you purple lovers." The purple shade that I used in Sunny Side Up, Canning Day, Coriander colors, and now in Callie & Co. is probably the closest to a purple that I will use. I do have a new shade coming in a fabric line I'll be sharing soon, but I don't know if it will be purple enough either. So the purple shade that I was referencing is this color right here in Callie & Co., which I know if you are wanting like a true violet purple, you know, that purple shade that we think of that comes in the primaries in your Crayola coloring box. This is not the purple that you want, but it works so pretty with the colors that I like using. So this is it in Callie & Co. This is actually the quilt pattern that she was talking about, but you can see I used the same purple in my Coriander Colors line of fabric. I'll hold this quilt pattern up. This is Easy as Cake is the name of this quilt pattern, and it's a free pattern. I'll link to it in case you missed it in my previous video, but this you can make using half of a layer cake. So if you have a full layer cake, you get all you need for the prints to make 2 different quilts. That'd be the center portion. You would still need extra fabric if you wanted to make 2 of your background fabrics there, but for those star centers, it uses half of a layer cake. So back to the purples. And then I used it also in Sunny Side Up and Canning Day, this same sort of light purpley pink shade, which probably isn't purple enough. But I don't know if I'll ever do a line that has a different shade of purple that really just hits all the right notes for the purple fans. But you can see peeking out up here in my new flannel line, I do have a new shade of purple that I really liked mixed in with these colors. So I'll be showing you those in just a bit. But I thought that was such a funny comment, and I just had to read that with you guys. I know that there are strong feelings about the purples. Robin Pickens, who's another moda designer, sometimes has really beautiful purples in her lines. And Jackie of Sweet Fire Road, I hope I'm remembering her business name right. She is another designer for moda, and she's had some really pretty purples in her lines recently too. I'll look up their information and link down so you can see some previous lines, but those are 2 right off the top of my head that I think of that have some really nice purples in their lines. There are more. Those are just 2 that just popped into my head right then. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into these new flannel fabrics, and you can tell me what you think of the new purple. I think it's really pretty in there. I do like purple. I'm kind of particular about the shade of purple that I mix in with the palette that I already gravitate towards. So let's chat. Sherbet Sunshine Flannels. It's a brand new line of flannels, my first line of flannels with Moda, and I'm really excited for how this collection turned out. It is just sherbety goodness in wonderful soft fabrics. I don't know if you remember, it's been a few weeks, but when I had Nicole on one of my videos, I had mentioned that there was a new fabric line I was going to be sharing soon, and my favorite thing about it was how much my niece Olive loved these fabrics and how she picked them up and she just rubbed them on her face, and then we would set that one down and she would pick up the next one and she would just rub it on her face, and she did this. So Nicole works for me Monday, Tuesday, and Fridays for a few hours in the morning. And when she comes, my niece Olive comes, and my daughter Eleni watches Olive while Nicole works for me. So I get to see her several times a week. And so it was probably a week or two that she would want to, every time when she came over, just pick these up and rub them on her face. And she just thought they were so soft. It was really neat to see her get so excited over these fabrics. And that is one of my favorite memories of designing these fabrics, is just her reaction to them. And they have been really nice to work with. I have 4 new quilt patterns that I will be sharing next week. The fabrics have been really fun to work with. It was fun working with flannels, and the palette is just my favorite. You guys know I love these warm, sherbety colors is usually what I say, and I just think they're so pretty. So we're going to take a look at all of these. I do want to mention before we dive in that there are pre-cuts going to be available for this line. I think it's a June line. I need to double check that. I'll make sure and write in the description box right now what it is set for as far as when it comes into quilt shops. It's showing to quilt shops right now. So if you see them and you love them, be sure to let your favorite quilt shop know that you would like to be able to purchase them locally or in your favorite online shop, so that they know, so that they can get them ordered. But there are pre-cuts available. Layer cakes, fat 8. There's also a fat quarter bundle, which I used up and no longer have, and then charm packs. So not the whole collection of pre-cuts that we sometimes see with a line, but some of our favorites we've got available here to us. So I'll tuck that up there, and let's just look at some of these fabrics. So now, for some of you who have been around for a bit of time, you might recognize this print. I used this print many years ago. This is a completely new palette for this print, but if you recognize this print, you'll have to let me know. I gave a pretty big hint in this video already, so you can rewind and rewatch and you will for sure be able to get it. But this print was really fun to see in some new colors. So we're starting off with our yellows. I, of course, had to have a sketchy print. So we have this fun little sketchy print. This works really nicely for backgrounds because there are, I mean, it's a really saturated palette, not a lot of whites in here. This is the only fabric with a white background. I wanted to have something that I could use as a background if I wanted to. So that works really nicely. I did use this as backgrounds in some of the quilt patterns you're going to see next week, and that was a wonderful addition. And then we also have just some really simple prints. This cute little, oh, I don't even know what I named this print. It's a little X in the shape of a diamond. I always feel with flannels, you need a really nice plaid. So this is the plaid that I designed for this collection. And I just keep picturing this as flannel pajama pants. For these colors would work really well for a boy or a girl. I think, you know, depending on which way you wanted to go. You'll see this print in a couple other different colors as well, but pajama pants for little ones I think would be just adorable. This print I also think would be really pretty for pajama pants. So quilts, little flannel pajama pants, I think would be just adorable with these flannels. There's that sketchy print in blue. This might be my favorite print in the whole collection. This print right here. I love that it looks kind of vintagey. I love the colors. It's just a favorite. I just really like this one. So that's the large scale print on the green. We've got this little stripey, like a beaded stripe, which is perfect for bindings. I used this print in some of the different colors for bindings. Of course, the ginghams are always nice for bindings as well. Here we have the green gingham. We've got that little diamond print here on this beautiful melony orange color. And then the stripe here in a slightly darker shade. And you've got the whole rainbow of color here, but in this soft palette, and I just love it. The large scale print, that floral here on a really pretty pink background. And then we move into, a little bit of a darker, we'll get to some darker pinks here, but this print right here is such a pretty crosshatch square design. The little sketchy print in pink. The gingham in a darker red and pink version. And then we have this little print here. And then this color is that purpley shade that I've used before in light and dark versions here. So this sort of purpley pink color here. And then here's another one of those plaids. Sketchy print. I always love these sketchy prints. It's so nice. Stripe. And then here you get that first glimpse of this sort of, I don't know, it's a little purpley, it's a little bluey. We're going to see some more of it here in just a minute, but we're going to go through some of this aqua teal sort of shade here. And here we go. Just a couple more. Here we get into some more of these purpley shades. You can let me know if this is more purpley, or still, if you wish, I just wish you'd do a dark, rich, true purple. I know some of you are going to be wishing that, but I do really like the way this color mixes. I think this is really pretty with the rest of these colors. And then this is the last one. So there are 29 different prints in this collection, and it is just a rainbow of delightful, soft, warm color, and I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to have a flannel line. Love to hear your thoughts on it as my first flannel line, but I think it's going to be so pretty. With it coming out in the summer, it does have a beautiful, warm summer palette to it, but the mix and match possibilities are really fun. I haven't actually sat down and done a lot of mixing and matching, but if you wanted to just pull out one of the main prints and then pull the colors that coordinate with one of the main prints, you could throw a little bit of this shade of blue in there, do something like this. This is really pretty. If you wanted it to lean not so floral, just take some of these florals out and you can have something that reads a little bit less girly maybe. Put this one in here. Maybe we'd add this one and this one in there. And, it gives it a completely different vibe. If you pull a lot of the florals, let's do that, it tends to read really, really girly and sweet. Let's just do some of these pinks here. So if we were to pull that one, maybe we'll pull in some of these oranges over here, pull in the yellow. You can see the yellow in this print. Let's pull that in here. What else do we want? Let's add some of these up here. In here, and then we're going to want a little more orange to kind of balance that out. Maybe we add in this one here. Oh, I don't know. Let's leave that one out for now, but let's go ahead and pull this one in here. And maybe we do add this guy back in here. Maybe we add that in and add a little bit of, maybe we add in here, I don't know. You just sort of mix and match until you're happy with what you're seeing. I want to add this one. Maybe we'll go in a little blue. You mix and match until you're happy with what you're seeing, but I mean, you can really change up this quite a bit. We'll add that one back in there. Maybe this blue check yet. And suddenly it's looking a little bit more girly, but I always think that's one of the fun parts about fabric collections is just you look at the collection as a whole and it reads a certain way and you see it a certain way, but then when you start pulling and mixing and matching, most fabric lines can go in a lot of different directions, and you can really change up the look of your quilt project by leaving all the fabrics in, pulling fabrics out, changing up the palette, maybe pulling in fabrics from other collections, and really just make it your own. It's almost like a little art project in fabric, right? You're pulling the colors that you want and the prints that you want, and you're mixing and matching to make it just what you want it to be. And I've always really enjoyed that aspect of making quilts because it's so personal to each individual person, and the things that I like are going to be different than what you like, and we can all just be happy mixing and matching and making it our own. So anyhow, got a little long-winded there, but I really just enjoy fabric and all of the ways that we can use it, and all of the different ways it can look, so many different options. We're so fortunate to have so many different fabrics available to us, so many different fabric companies, quilt designer or fabric designers working for those companies. And anyhow, I could talk about fabric for a while. But anyhow, that's a little peek of Sherbet Sunshine flannels. I will link to where you can see these a little bit better in the catalog. I'm also going to have a blog post up with some different fabric photos so that you can see this in photo form. Sometimes that can be really helpful. I'll have that over on my blog, the same blog post where I'm hosting the giveaway. So if you pop over there to enter the giveaway, you can take a look at the pictures of the fabrics. And then next week, I'll be sharing those new quilt patterns. I am also going to be listing scrappy flannel fabric bundles earlier. I think I'm going to have them up today for you guys. So I always have scrap bundles that I will list usually closer to when the fabric line comes out, but this time around I'm going to do that sooner rather than later so I don't have to move them to the new house. So I'm going to put those up for sale over in my Etsy shop. Those are super limited. I usually don't have very many. I won't have very many this time. But if you wanted to grab a little bundle of the flannels so you could touch and feel and see the colors in advance of the fabric line coming out, you'll want to be sure and visit the Etsy shop sooner rather than later, because I do expect those to be gone very fast. I think that's all I need to share about the fabrics. The last thing that I'm going to be sharing here is a little studio tour in the new home. Ryan and I had a chance to film a little bit, and I shot an empty studio video so that you can see what it looks like and kind of start to see the new space. We are slowly making progress, but it's nice. It's nice to be able to take it slowly. We don't have a date. We have to be out of this house, and so we can kind of take our time and move into the new space at our leisure, which makes it really nice. But anyhow, okay, so just keep watching, and I'll meet you over there at the new house. We have just a few minutes before our painters arrive to our new house, so I wanted to take you on a quick tour of the new workspace. I showed what my workspace looks like right now in our old home, but this is the empty canvas with where we're going to be setting everything up here in this new location. You'll remember my desk from last week. I'm planning to put that on this back wall right here. Underneath this lighting fixture, we're going to put a cutting table, which is going to work as a little bit of a work area for either Nicole or myself to use. Right along this wall, I'm planning to put all of that shelving that you saw for my pattern storage. It can fit just shy of right here, so a whole wall of pattern storage. We're planning on putting Nicole's desk right here, and then as we work our way down into this portion, this is where I'm going to be setting up my ironing board. Let's see what else needs to fit in there. The ironing board, the sewing machine table that you saw last week. That's mostly all that needs to come down in this area here, because when we come around to this section over here, this is where the filming studio is going to be set up, and this is going to work so well. So this back wall has just enough space to fit all but one of those Billy bookcases that you saw in last week's video. So all of my fabric storage will go here on this back wall. I'll probably put some sort of design wall over here on this wall. I could put more shelving on the right side there if I wanted to. I'm not exactly sure how it's all going to fit, but the really nice thing about using this as the filming area is it has this drop ceiling, which our current filming studio has, but when I was filming up in my sewing room maybe 2 years ago, we didn't have this sort of ceiling. And what this allows us to do is to run all of our cords for our lighting and for the electrical things that need to be put in here to allow this to function really nicely as a filming studio. So we'll be able to get our lighting working great in here, still have that beautiful section of sewing fabrics and goodness behind me that many of you are familiar with from a couple years ago. And I think it's going to work out just great. It's going to be nice to have everything all in one central location. I really did like filming in my sewing room, but what we didn't like was having to work around all of the cords for lighting and mics and all of that sort of thing. But this little nook works just perfectly for that and will allow us to be filming once again back in the sewing room. So we are excited about how this is going to work. I'm going to keep you guys updated as we get moved into this space. It's going to be, you know, a bit of time as we're working in, but I'll be sharing it as we go. But I wanted to give you an idea of what the blank space looks like before we set anything up. So that's a little bit of a peek. Well, I hope you enjoyed that peek of the new studio space. Slowly but surely, we'll get there. So to wrap up today's video, don't forget to enter that giveaway if you wanted to enter for the Jolly box. If you wanted to grab any bundles sooner rather than later, because those scrap bundles are going to go fast. And then be sure to come back next week for a peek at the new quilt patterns, because I am excited to show those to you. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you again next time.